If you're a parent who's looking for college scholarship and grant opportunities for your child, then you've come to the right place. NextGen Personal Finance is a nonprofit organization that creates free resources for teachers to teach personal finance at the high school and middle school level. In this video, we're going to take a look at an Ngpf activity called Research, Finding Scholarships and Grants. This activity comes from the unit called Paying for College from the Ngpf curriculum. To access this activity, head on over to ngpf.org. Then select the Resources tab and click on Activities. Scroll down to the Paying for College unit and select that unit to open up all of the different activities available that are about paying for college. If you scroll down on this activity page, all the way to the bottom section, you'll see a few activities that start with the term research. Find the one called Research, Finding Scholarships and Grants, and click View Google Doc. This will open up the activity that your child will be working from. This is a good place to pause and press print. Having the hard copy of this activity in front of your child will make it really easy for them to be able to jot down notes about what they're finding as they research. As a heads up, the last section of this activity does require your students to conduct research online using a phone, a tablet, or a computer. If you'd rather have your child work on this assignment digitally, then make sure that you're signed into a Gmail email account, and then you can go to File, Make a Copy. Here you'll need to enter a title that you'll remember and save this in your own Google Drive. Share this with your child and they'll be able to type directly into this copy of the template. As a parent, it's important for you to know that the biggest mistake students and parents tend to make when researching scholarships and grants is they go directly to the internet and start looking for scholarship opportunities. But the important thing to know about this activity is that there are a few steps that you've got to do before you start the actual research process to make sure that you understand the strategies that you'll want to be using to find scholarships and what exact criteria it is that you want to focus on finding scholarships for. Scroll down on this activity to get to part 1. This is where your child will focus on researching the different strategies that they might use to secure college scholarships and grants. They'll also think about which strategies for winning college scholarships were surprising to them and why. Part 2 of the activity is a very important section because it helps students to understand that there are many scams online, especially scams that are pretending to be valid scholarships and grant opportunities. So this is why it's important for students to research what are the telltale signs of a scam. Then once they understand what those signs are, they'll be able to know how to avoid scholarship and grant scams online. Moving along to part 3, students will be able to narrow down their search criteria. It's important for students to spend some time personally reflecting on their interests and passions, but also on the individual characteristics about their identity that will allow them to qualify for unique scholarships and grant opportunities. It isn't until part 4 of the activity where students actually begin to search for scholarships and grants. Now, this is when students have a sense for the type of scholarships and grants that they want to target first. They'll conduct research online to find specific scholarships and grants that they believe they will be eligible for after laying the groundwork and doing some pre-preparation work. On page 6 of this activity, Ngpf has provided a list of scholarships and grants that already exist to help your child begin with a solid starting point. Note that while conducting their search for scholarships and grants, your child might come across websites that require them to sign up and create a profile. Use your best judgment as a parent to determine whether it's okay for your child to do this. Ngpf highly recommends only using websites that are free. Be sure that you point out to your child that they should only be using websites that are free. Finally, in part 5 of this activity, students will actually apply for a scholarship or grant of their choice. On page 5, they'll create a plan of action, which will be as detailed as possible, including things like application deadlines, letters of recommendation needed, the classes that you must complete, and essays that will need to be written and submitted. Every scholarship and grant is different, so your child should definitely be prepared to approach each application differently. Now that you know where to find NGPF's activity called Research Finding Scholarships and Grants, and now that you know how to complete it, we're confident that you'll be able to guide your child through the process of finding and securing college scholarship and grant dollars.